Trying to blow it open. Stacey King's off the mark, but Cliff Levingston kept them in the game. The newcomer let go by Atlanta, and he's found a home in Chicago. Second quarter, Sixers up by 14. Michael Jordan picks off Mahorn's pass, and it is show time for Air Jordan. Slams it in, and Jimmy, yeah, you got to smile about that. He's going to do it to you sooner or later. Third quarter, Barkley boards on one end, and then dishes it off to Hersey Hawkins right there for the layup and the foul. And right here, Brian Oliver, the rookie, with a brick, but Charles Barkley battles, fights, gets the ball back, and in his own relentless style, gets the layup, and he is on fire. The Sixers go on to win it by a final count of 124-116. Yeah, these two teams got together in the Eastern Conference semifinals last year. Chicago won, so this is going to be an ongoing fight all year. First round of the Sixers, but this fight is clearly not over.
We've been getting a little frustrated because everybody's been putting the Bulls and the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals since last year. So I think they're kind of disappointed. We feel like we have a very good team, and we're going to be there in the end.
Meanwhile, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Dallas Mavericks tonight at the Spectrum. Sixers on the move, passing the ball around nicely. Barkley spots Mahorn open underneath the basket, and he gets it to go in the low post. Now, watch Manute Bol. He's looking to pass it to somebody, nowhere to go, so the 12-footer simply hooks it in over the 11.5-footer. Donaldson right there. Second half, the Mavs come back running. Derek Harper runs it up the floor and then dishes off to Roy Tarpley, who had a huge game tonight. 26 points off the glass, 2 of them right there. Then it's Harper again driving the lane. He makes so many things happen creating this type of situation. Misses. Mike Jaminski gets a piece of it, but Herb Williams is right there for the follow-up. Williams had 19. Rodney McRae, another newcomer to this Dallas team, launches the 3. It will go. They came down to Harper hitting a couple of free Phillies' first loss of the year, but they escaped with their lives in the game with lowly New Jersey last week. Teams got problems, and tonight's road test at Milwaukee promised to be a much tougher one to pass. The Milwaukee Bucks came out, well, with the bad news early for Philadelphia's Johnny Dawkins. He planted that right leg, and the preliminary verdict is a torn interior cruciate ligament. That's a bad one. Second quarter, Charles Barkley takes charge early. Ron Anderson misses a Jay Barkley right there to slam it. He had 27. But then the Bucks go on a 12-1 run. Jay Humphries cuts backdoor for the alley-oop lay-in. Bucks by 9 at the half. In the third quarter, the wheels really came off. Alvin Robertson with the steal, long pass to Frank Brikowski. At the other end for the Jam, 18 points. Bucks by 19. They outscored Philly 41-19 in the stands. In the fourth quarter, Barkley gets his pocket picked. Heading the other way is Jay Humphries again with the layup. He had 25 in the game, and the Bucks are up, coincidentally, by 25. Rick Mahorn a little frustrated.
Seeing offense, well, they've been helped by a soft early schedule, at least until recently, and one can only speculate how much the Sixers will be hurt by the loss of point guard Johnny Dawkins for the season. At the Spectrum tonight, we found out Charles Barkley is on a one-man mission to make sure they don't miss Johnny Dawkins. With the layup here, tied this game up at 51 at the half. Running the show for Atlanta and doing a good job of it, too. Ramil Robinson does have the ball knocked away, but no turnover. Goes right to Kevin Willis for the slam. Hawks up by 4 over Lynham Sixers. And then Barkley back again, blows right by Dominique Wilkins for the slam. Barkley ended up with 34 points, also hauled down 13 rebounds. Barkley and company fighting off a late Atlanta rally. Look at the fall away and the foul there. Good enough for a headbutt and to put the Sixers up for good. Sixers trap. John Battle, bad pass. Hersey Hawkins, the steal, the layup. And he had 18 points, and that was that for Bobby Weiss. Kevin Willis, 28 for the losing Hawks. They were also missing guard Doc Rivers. He has a pulled groin muscle. Sixers backup point guard.
Been on a tear. Once he gets the jumper going, you're in trouble. Bernard King then driving to the hoop. 18 straight points. The Bullets are up 74-64 in the third. But the 76ers come right back. Off the tip, Sir Charles in charge. End of the third, 81-80 Philly. Tempers flare, Charles firing referees around, but cooler heads prevail. Final second, Sixers down by 3. Jaminski to Ron Anderson, desperation 3, and it goes with 4.4 seconds left. We don't think Charles is pumped up. We go into overtime, tied at 96. In the OT, Brian Oliver finds Anderson down low. Anderson had 22 points and shared in the famous headbutt routine as the 76ers take this one 115-102. Washington blew a 10-point fourth quarter lead in this game. Bernard King, though, filling it up, 33 points tonight. Sir Charles, 35 and 18 boards for Philly. Bullets' 9th straight loss in the Spectrum. Market Square Arena.
And lays it off the glass. Barkley had 31.
and then played the defense on little Muggsy Bogues. Don't go into the lane against the big bad boys of the Sixers like this. They'll swat it away, but Charles does sort of admire Bogues' courage. Helped him up. And then Charlotte tried to help itself back into the game, but they couldn't defend Barkley underneath. He keeps the second effort, goes back at it, gets around J.R. Reed, broke away for the jam. Hersey Hawkins got his 31 from the outside. Those two combined for 62, and they hold off a late Charlotte rally to win it 109-101. What's the secret for the Sixers? Well, without Johnny Dawkins, they thought to struggle. They're not making up well in the point department, but between the league's oldest point guard, Ricky Green, and rookie out of Georgia Tech, Brian Oliver, they're making up for it. In fact, now with Ricky Green starting at point guard, as he did tonight, they're 3-1. That's better than they were with Johnny Dawkins. At McNichols,
home white led visiting Charlotte by a point. Then Charles Barkley, coming off a 10-point night, looked cold again. Muggsy Bogues gets the break going, then finds Johnny Newman for the hanging dunk, and suddenly Gene Little's club ahead late in the half. But Philly charges back. J.R. Reed puts the ball on the floor with bad results. Rick Mahorn picks his pocket. And look at Bogues trying to catch Barkley. Forget it. The freight train and the Sixers lead by 6 at the break. And in the third quarter, Philly pumps up the volume. This time, Barkley hits the fall away, gets the foul. The Sixers by 15. And they just keep filling it up here, kicking it outside for Hersey Hawkins to drill the three-pointer. All part of a 14-0 run, which enabled the Sixers to stave off a late rush by Charlotte. The Hornets played again without Armand Gilliam, and they missed his numbers. Barkley and Hawkins each pumped in 31, and the Sixers manhandled Bird. And they